Hello, hello, and welcome to Love and Lunch. This is your 20-minute weekly Facebook Live on love, life, and intimacy. I'm your co-host, Joanna Keeble from BigBeautifulBoundaries.com. I'm an empowerment boundaries relationship coach, and yeah, sorry, my head's all up in gender right now. I'm having a conversation on gender this morning. I was just thinking, do I say it? Do I say I work with all genders? I haven't figured out what I want to say there yet. Not so much with the cis men. And yeah, I'll be dropping my group in the comments at the end of this little chat that we're going to have on the power of receiving. But before we kick off, I'm going to hand you over to my co-host, Jo Cooper.
I love that. I was just like, co-host, smooth. I'm receiving that. Yeah, I am Jo
That's a good
Cooper.
start.
Yeah, I know, dating, sex and relationship coach. And I help women with anything love, intimacy, and really just coming to a place of like truth in their body. It's so powerful, super, super powerful, and how that can fundamentally transform their own relationship to themselves, and how that shows up in connection with others. So it's, oh my God, I just love this work so much. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I will also post my group in the chat afterwards, and yeah, we will share a little bit about things that are coming up for us both as well in our work.
Gorgeous. As soon as you started talking, I just got a little hit of something that I want to touch on today.
Beautiful. Do you want to start us off?
Oh gosh. Well, talking about receiving, there's so many different angles that we could go with it, but the one that's just come up, because I'm like, as we're starting, I'm sweating. Like, that's interesting. I was outside, but I think there's also, if I'm honest, I can feel a little something in my throat. I can feel a little something in my belly. Right, there's a spot here. There's something going on with me. And so the sort of tenderness that's coming up right now around receiving is actually daring to receive from yourself. Oh, that, I mean, for me, that's a really poignant place of like actually listening to myself, because for years and years I got a lot of wisdom come up, and I couldn't believe that it was wisdom. I couldn't believe that it was right or true or good. I thought I was crazy. I just dismissed everything that came up as ridiculous or stupid or selfish. I found a word that insulted me as a way to dismiss what was coming up for me, and actually learning to dare to listen and then to dare to take steps based on that message that I dare to receive has been really, really edgy for me, and it continues to be edgy. That trust, that self-trust.
So much. And receiving, I was just like, oh my God, like receiving my truth every day.
Yeah.
Like that is a wake-up call. That's like my wake-up call every day, is like receiving a truth. And how that really lands in my body. And I really felt that when you said like receiving yourself, like it's a practice every single day. And I actually felt quite expansive when you said that. I could literally feel my heart open, and I was just like, yeah, this is my practice. This is my daily practice. To commit to my own love, like receive my heart. Like that's my self-care every day. It's like receiving my heart and honoring her.
Yeah, I mean, it's reminding me of the days when I wake up and it's just like, oh God, like the first thought is, like why? And it's like such a lack of gratitude. And I want to give myself that. I want to allow that. But I have a self-worth practice first thing in the morning. And it is like, I woke up today and I was in some weird half sleep, and the first thing that happened was like, I'm doing that, but that's how it felt. It was like an attack of inner critic. It was like, you're not doing enough, you're not actually doing anything, what you're doing isn't valuable. And it was like, and then I had to like remember and go, oh, let's go back to self-worth. First thing that I needed today was to pick myself up and bring myself in and go, okay, we're, you know, you're worthy. And there's, you know, you talked about vulnerability just before we started, so I'll ask you to go into that in a sec. But it's like there's a surrender and there's a vulnerability to be willing to like step off that and come back to the softness that can feel really edgy.
Wow, this is really touching my heart. And now I feel like I want to cry. I'm like, oh, because I think really this is a fuck. I feel really emotional, but I've received a lot recently. Like received a lot, and I think for me it does come with self-worth. Am I worthy to receive this right now, whatever shape or form? You know, yesterday I received something from a man and he apologized. I received something else today, another apology, and then receiving attention, like quality attention. I'm like, oh my God, from a man. And I'm like, oh my God, am I worthy to receive this? You know, I don't have that question. That question doesn't come up for me, but it's definitely it's a practice every time for me to really just like surrender into that moment of like, can I fully and wholeheartedly just open, because there's nothing to do in receiving apart from be. It's just like, you know, and I think often I've had times where I felt very unbalanced around receiving. I found it extremely difficult to receive because I don't feel like I'm worthy, and I try and diminish it somehow and don't fully take it in and be like, no, it's fine, don't worry. And then I'm just killing the whole gift, because it's literally a gift. It's a gift for both people. And we think that we're just getting the gift, but it's a gift for the other person, because there's an openness and a connection of heart center with two people in that space. And it's just like, wow, there's vulnerability and connection happening right here. And I think for me, like receiving, sharing feelings is the two together, probably the deepest form of like vulnerability. It's a very revealing practice to be seen right in that moment.
Gorgeous. I love that, because we're not just talking about Valentine's Day, everything has to be smooth and like happy clappy. It's also being real. And I was giggling because you talked about like, we talked about the difficulty, or like having a practice where you sort of have to take yourself back there, and you directly link that to being. And it's true, like how often do we have to like start the day and then remember to just be and like climb off the productivity treadmill back to letting us, like allowing us some space. Oh, that's right, I need some space to breathe in, and then make that space, because it's not how we're sort of taught by the world around us. And the other thing I've written down is presence and presence. As you said, gift.
That's funny.
Yeah, to just be present.
I think actually that can, for me, that is where the vulnerability comes in, is to be present and be like, can I feel this? Can I fully accept someone? like whatever someone is coming to me with, it's like, can I just be with them in this space?
Mm.
And then there's like a co-creation of juice, of vibes, of energy that's happening. And I think for me, that's like the kind of vulnerable thing, is like being in this space, like getting in the ring with someone and just being like, oh, this is vulnerable as fuck and I'm willing. There's so much courage in willingness. And I really, you know, and this courage, oh gosh, this feels like, what time are we on? But courage for me is around the belief. It comes actually back in a circle around like the belief that I'm worthy to, that I am worthy for just who I am. I don't need to be anyone else. I don't need to get anywhere. It's like there's a worthiness that just comes with like trusting I am where I am. I'm perfect where I am. And then trusting that things are just going to unfold in the way that they're meant to unfold. And I don't need to push, pull, force, control, manipulate. And so having courage take great strength. It's like the belief and the trust of how things are going to just start to unravel. And for me, that's life. This is life.
Yeah, so I'm just laughing because I'm getting nailed to the wall here. Like most of my life, I didn't. You're reminding me, like it's coming up now. I'm like, all of those places where I didn't receive friendship, compliment, opportunity because I didn't even recognize that they were there for me. I dismissed everything as, oh well, you don't know what you're talking about, right? If you compliment my singing, but you're just a member of the public, right? That's a nice one, isn't it? You know, or a guy or a friend or whatever. It's like, oh, you don't actually know me and you've misinterpreted me as good. And I would sort of add my paranoia to everything and imagine that people were just taking the mickey out of me, or there's just a fantasy of putting everybody on a different level to me, putting me beneath them and assuming that I couldn't possibly keep up. Yeah, and it's awful. You know, you talk yourself out of all sorts of situations and opportunities and wonderful things that actually really were straightforward. And I've had to train myself to stop assuming everybody is above me and sort of get over that. It's like, you know, yeah.
I love the word opportunity. For me, so many opportunities to connect in ways that we can't see, but it's a felt sense. For me, receiving is a feeling. I don't know, I'm going to walk into a shop and buy flowers for someone and then give them to someone. It's just like, oh, I have this feeling that I really want to give flowers. And actually something, that was one of like the most beautiful things actually when I was in lockdown, and you know, I stayed with my parents for a couple of months, and my mum came in one Sunday with some fresh flowers and she went, oh, these are for you. And I was just like, I felt like crying. It was like so beautiful to receive her, because you know, my mum's love language is through gifts, it's through sharing, and that's how she shares her love. And because I knew that, and I just knew how she is, and I felt in that moment like so deeply loved and cherished by her, and I was like, wow, my heart feels so open right now. And I really received her. It was such, I still remember, it was just such a beautiful moment. And I could hear the part which I totally shut out, the part that was just like, why she got me flowers, there's something going on. I was just like, sip it. And I literally told that part, that part of the monkey brain, I think it is a part that was just like, wanted to make sense of it, but actually the sense was the feeling that my heart opened, like that was it.
You
And
know, there's one thing that I'd like to touch on, because this is all gorgeous, and there was something that popped up earlier that I feel like is worth mentioning. Because if there's a thing, particularly in romantic love, where it's over romanticized to dissolve all boundaries between you and your partner. And so when we're talking about like opening fully and being vulnerable and just receiving, that's all well and good, but there's a lot of space for people to sort of take advantage. And I think there's a lot of people who have trauma and around opening like that. And so I think, you know, we're back to that sort of self-trust part, where for me it's like I can open up and I can say yes to a lot of things, and I can play in some edgy waters, because I know I've got me, because I have worked my yes and no, and I trust, like, I'm not going to abandon myself and say, yes, I'll put myself in your hands. I've still got me. So I know that I can be a full yes and completely open, but if something's off, I know that I'll come to and I'll quickly be able to express it or take action to keep myself safe. I think that plays a role in actually being able to open up, knowing that you've got your safety in yourself.
100%. I mean, for me, that's like the foundation for any type of intimacy, pleasure, desire, whatever, is actually having that safety. If I don't feel safe, I'm not going to open.
Totally.
Simple as that. Like, it's just not going to happen. And it's like, yeah, and it's like so much food for thought right now. But it's like being able to know and create that for yourself.
Yes.
So that then the situations when things do come up, it's like, well, if I don't feel safe, what's going on right here? Maybe I'm not in the right place. Maybe this doesn't feel good. And it's like creating and giving yourself what you need in order to feel safe. But it's totally valid, one of the most important things around intimacy and receiving.
Right, because you can be with someone who you think is a safe pair of hands, and that's a great idea, and you can be with someone who goes slowly and pays attention to what you need. But there's no need to ever have that be your only source of safety. You've got to be your own source first and foremost. Don't rely on, oh God, I hope he's a good guy. I'm not relying on that. You know, there's always an element of risk, and also people cause harm without meaning to, right? Or hurt without meaning to. So it's just that, yeah, I love it. Safety first.
Safety first.
So dry.
I know, it's just like, look out for the green man, the green woman.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I guess what my brain is showing me right now is you put on your safety harness, you get your parachute, you jump out the fucking plane, and then it's like, oh, like everything you want, go and do it, go and have it, because you've got yourself, you're good, you're independent in that way that actually allows you to go and engage and connect and know that you're rooted here. Gorgeous.
Jess. I love your earrings, by the way. I only saw one of them because they're in the dark and they had a nice reflection on, you know, they look very pretty. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Ah, wow.
Intense.
Yeah. Vulnerable and emotional, I'm feeling right now. Yeah. Feel lots of expansion. Definitely a lot of expansion. And we're finishing like on the dot.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? I can't see if there's any comments, but if anything touched with you in today's Love and Lunch, please drop us a heart, a comment, you have the option to reach out to us both individually or whichever one you want to reach out to. That's perfect. If there's any questions that you want to ask, we're here and available to answer those. We would love if you have any questions or any things that kind of like niggling away that you'd like us to discuss. We really love those kind of questions. They always give us a food for thought, and most likely if you're thinking that, there's so many other people who have a very similar, if not the same question as you as well. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today. A little bit about, I have got a masterclass coming up on Friday about how to receive the pleasure and intimacy you want, which was really on topic with what we just spoke about. Oh my God, it's been a life journey of mine. And so I'm super excited to be sharing more about that in a live masterclass. It's free, which is absolutely fabulous. It will be hosted in my Facebook group. So I will put my Facebook group into the comments below. I can't wait to see you there. And yeah, I think that's what I've got to share. Over to you, Joanna.
All right. So Big Beautiful Boundaries, that's my thing. So I'm on Instagram at Big Beautiful Boundaries, all together, no special characters. And I'm really enjoying my Facebook group right now. So you can catch me on Instagram for my Coffee Saunter series, which is most days. I'm not doing every day. I'll take questions from the viewers and address some interesting topics. It's challenging, and it's one of the reasons I was sweating as I joined this call. It's pushing me today. But if you want those full unedited videos and a lot more content, engagement, community connection, you want to get into my Facebook group, which is called Big Beautiful Boundary Builders, and I'll drop that link below this video.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. All right then, my loves, feeling very excited. Yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, wherever you are, whatever you're getting up to, and yeah, sending you a lot of love. Bye.